Hello to all my beautiful viewers out there. Today, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming release of the Travis Scott Air Force Ones. Yes guys, so it's finally here. I remember I covered this sneaker as it was given to a fan at one of the concerts and that Travis Scott obviously performed at. And that, because at the time it was unreleased, there was no release details. It took about 2 weeks after that fan posted it online for us to even receive our first release details. I went into that in a previous video, so if you haven't seen that video, subscribe to the channel, go check out that video, and go give me your thoughts and opinions on that video as well. Yeah, so it was released to a fan very early, and then slowly over time, we've gotten more and more release details to do with its release. I gotta say, throughout its whole history, it's been kind of mixed opinions from what I've seen in comment sections and stuff like that. Some people are feeling it, some people aren't. Closer to the release though, more people are like, oh my god, I need this shoe. I think that's just the Travis Scott hype though, because in all honesty, especially in this channel, we need to talk about this shoe critically and, you know, remove the hype in a way. That's what I want to do when we look at this sneaker today, is remove the idea that Travis Scott's associated with it in a way, to kind of look at it more objectively instead of just being like, oh my god, I need this, you know, like just to not exactly play into the hype as much. We'll go over it. So if you guys didn't know, Travis Scott is releasing another pair of Air Force Ones. This will be technically his third Air Force One collaboration, as he's done 2 Air Forces beforehand. He did the Complex Con exclusives and the sales. Obviously playing on the theme there of the all-white classic Air Force One. Now, however, in his third iteration of the Air Force One, it is not as toned down. We're going a little bit more wacky. We are getting a Houston-inspired, more specifically Missouri City-inspired Travis Scott Air Force One. Now, according to the details behind the inspiration with this sneaker, the reason that it is colored in such dark browns, workwear colors in a way, is because the sneaker's colors and, you know, material choice have taken influence from Travis Scott's memories of him chilling at his grandmother's countryside house back when he was a child. So the materials used, the colors used, are influenced by the work uniforms that he would see as a child on his grandmother's farm. You know, the people in the work uniforms, stuff like that. So this kind of fills in some of the details on why we're getting the upper being made from canvas, suede, corduroy, leather, and apparently even a bit of flannel material there as well. Very surprising there, but in all honesty, all those materials I just mentioned are materials used on workwear and especially farmer workwear. So the reasoning behind the, you know, choice of materials and colors definitely coincides with what actually happens in the sneaker here, what actually we have on this sneaker. Now, to go into further detail, some of the materials used on the toe box have been, I would say, more smartly chosen, as the toe box is a leather, so you will get a nice creased look on the leather as you wear it, while the actual end of the toe box is made of suede, this very nice buttery suede. I think that's a really nice choice. I think that's a very smart decision, because I don't know, well, I do kind of have an idea of what would happen if they decided to choose a material like corduroy on the end of the toe box. If you scuffed that, which in all honesty, the toe box is probably the most likely place you would scuff, it would almost rip. It would tear, it would look frailed, it wouldn't look as good. So having a choice of suede and leather at the front of the shoe is a very smart idea by Travis Scott. Now, I've kind of not talked about the main feature of the shoe, which is the big talking point, the big thing that splits the community down the middle on whether if they want it or not, which is the shroud covering the laces. Now, this shroud is made of 2 materials. It's made of corduroy, and the other side is a canvas from memory, I want to say. It splits down the middle with a zipper, and how you put the shroud on is, I gotta say, a really annoying thing. So essentially on the side that you can't see of the shroud, this side here, there's lace locks, or not lace locks, but lace loops that you thread the laces through, and that's how it stays on top of the shoe. That's how it sticks to the shoe. Now, it's very optional to take the shroud off the actual sneaker itself. Personally, when I first saw the sneaker with the shroud on, I was like, That's gross. That's gross. And it's not because of the hype that I think differently now. It's because I've seen on-foot photos of it with the shroud on. I don't think it looks that hideous with the shroud on when you have it on foot. If you look at photos of it without it being on foot, it does look quite hideous. I'm not going to shy away from that. It does look quite ugly. Now, here's the best part though. You can take it off, and having it as more of a traditional Air Force One, I actually quite like it. Now, I obviously, with this design as well, it's obviously taking nods to the what the kind of inspiration, you know, like we've seen recently with the what the New York Cities, what the LAs, where it's kind of just materials everywhere. Even without the shroud, just having it as a normal Air Force One on foot, I do think this shoe actually looks quite nice. The tone of it, because of the use of colors, they aren't really flashy. They're quite toned down, quite neutral. I do think this actually looks quite nice. Personally though, I wouldn't pick it up because it's just not really screaming to me. It's not something that I absolutely need. I do have to comment and praise Travis Scott for his story behind the shoe, the use of materials, the overall design. But for me, I don't think I'll be picking it up because it's just not really something that I need. It's not a must-have for me. I mean, you may disagree. Let me know in that comment section below if this is like your must-have sneaker, if you like need this in your collection. But for me, I don't think I really need it. I would much rather wear just a normal pair of all-white Air Force Ones. I think that's my thing a lot more. Like, it's more my aesthetic. But a lot of people would disagree with me. There's a lot of people in the comment section saying like, I need this in my sneaker collection. I don't know if that's because it's just the Travis Scott hype, you know, because it has Travis Scott's name attached to it. Heaps of people are like, oh my god, I need this. Or if they genuinely like the overall design. It's hard to tell in the comment sections of heaps of posts that I'm seeing if that's the case or not. Because no one says, man, I love this shoe because of the design. They're just like, oh my god, I need this sneaker. Why? Why do you need this sneaker? Because honestly, I don't think it's a must-have. I don't think you're missing out by not getting it. I don't think you've greatly put to an advantage in the streetwear culture by having it. I just think it's kind of a meh kind of release. It's not doing much for me. It's kind of you know. It is releasing, as I said. I better give you some release details. It's releasing for 160 USD, which I gotta say is a lot. That's a lot for a pair of Air Forces. Air Forces traditionally go for 90 USD, maximum 110 with the like different iterations and stuff. 160 USD, that's asking a lot for a pair of Air Force Ones, man. That's not cheap. I mean, that's the same price as a Jordan 1, as just your stock standard, high OG Jordan 1. I love it that I use that as the benchmark, but it really is. You're paying the same price for a pair of Air Forces as you would for a pair of Air Jordan 1s. I think that's a bit crazy. And also to put that in comparison with Travis Scott's other releases, Travis Scott's Air Jordan 1s released for 175 USD. And this Air Force One is releasing for 160 USD. I think it's asking a bit much. 130 USD, that's a nice price to ask for at retail, but 160, a bit too much. Anyway, 160 USD, November 16, full family sizing, so you can go toddler, kids, or men's. I'll put a link in the description section below for you guys to pick it up if you're interested in picking it up. For me though, as I've expressed in the video, it's not doing too much for me. I like the thought put into it. I like the idea of using different materials to symbolize the uniforms that Travis used to see when he used to go to his grandmother's farm when he was a kid, but the story isn't compelling enough. The overall design isn't compelling enough. The price is definitely making me steer away from me to consider copying this pair of sneakers. It's just not enough. There's not enough there for me to be like, you know what, 160 USD, let's go. Let's do it. So it's definitely going to be a miss for me, but in the comment section below, guys, I want to know all your thoughts and opinions. Do you like the Travis Scott Air Force Ones inspired by his grandmother's farm? The whole story about that, the whole thing about him going to his grandmother's farm as a kid, seeing those work uniforms, and then him using the materials from those work uniforms he remembers, and putting it into this sneaker. What do you think of that? Do you think that's cool? What do you think of the little details on it? Like the little, I forgot to mention this before, the little, I guess strap at the back of it. It doesn't really have any like practical use. It's kind of just there. It's not a pull tab. It's not anything like that. There's a strap at the back. What do you think of the shroud over the top of the laces? What do you think of the use of different materials? What do you think of this whole what the kind of design where there's like different materials, different colors, all that kind of jazz? What are all your thoughts and opinions on this sneaker? Let me know in that comment section below, guys. Whew, what a video. Had a lot to say about them. As I said, overall design is pretty cool. I like the additional details like the strap at the back and the shroud. Personally, I would want to keep it as minimal as possible. The overall reasoning for using the different materials and different colors is a cool idea, but it's not enough for me to buy it. I want to know all your thoughts and opinions in that comment section below, guys. Don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently. I wouldn't be here making videos if it wasn't for you lovely people there. And to sum it all up, the release details, November 16th, full family sizing, so kids, toddlers, and adults. 160 USD, bit pricey, asking a bit too much there. November 16th. Put a link in the description for anyone looking to cop it. And let me know. Let me know. Are you picking it up? Are you dropping it? Is it for you? Is it not for you? Yeah. Share the video with all your mates, guys. And until the next video, until the next sneaker release video, I'll catch you later.